Dr. Warren, are we in the end times?
Yes, you are in the end times. The end of not the physical cosmos of the universe. You are in of the great American empire that we're in. The dream that we're in. You know that we are. Matter of fact, you can see the end of the dream. What do you mean end of the dream? Just go to Detroit or Flint and you can see that the factories that we have, globalization, NAFTA, GAFTA, whatever you want to say, GATT, whatever you want to say, we have no factories in this country anymore. None. We have very few jobs that are manufactured or high-paying jobs. Even the IT, the high-paying computer jobs, they are being overseas. If you don't believe that, just pick up a phone and call Dale if you got a computer. The next thing I says, my name is Michael. Well, his name ain't Michael. His name is, you're talking to somebody in India. So that's outsourcing. So what you're having is the deindustrializing of America, whether you be black or white, whether you be, I don't care what your color or whatever, globalization has affected you, and the nation has entered a stage of a second world and getting ready to enter the third world, which would be when the collapse finally gets here.
Okay, well, the collapse is happening, but when is the Antichrist showing up?
Well, it may be, we don't know the exact time that may be. Just like when Hitler came to power, only the people that knew or financed him knew the whole process. That won't be revealed to us except by the Spirit. And most people won't understand what they see when they see it, because they have no understanding of the process.
Well, I don't understand, but give me some understanding about the four beasts.
Okay, simply, we want to talk about the four beasts of Daniel that you have. What are they? With the lion, the bear, the leopard, and the fourth beast, which was a mean beast. Well, actually, they represent Babylon, Medo Persia, Greece, and Alexander the Great, and then the Roman Empire. Well, the four beasts today are mainly, the four main powers today are the U.S., China, Russia, and the EU. Those are the four main powers that are in the world, and they shape and form the globe, everything on the globe. They are also part of the economic power. So what you have basically here in America is in order to save ourselves, they are saving Wall Street versus saving ourselves. In other words, the dollar that you have, it no longer holds its purchasing power. And unless you have some silver, now here's a silver dollar. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about. A silver dollar, one little old silver dollar. Here I have a silver dollar here. Now this is $1 face value. It says $1. It says $1 on it. But in order to buy this, I need about either 18 or 25 of these to buy just one silver dollar. This is 90% silver. It's no longer in circulation. And many of these things have been melted down. So if you don't have, as this becomes corrupted, or should I say worthless, as we begin to, enter a depression, the only way that you're going to be able to pay for your food, or move around, or preserve your wealth or your purchasing power is to have this gold and silver, which is actually the real money, or the wealth that God made, or Elohim made, gold and silver. And as of now, gold with silver is roughly about $17, $18, and gold is about $19. Platinum is well over $1,800, almost $2,000. My point to you, unless you have these types of metals, you will not be able to survive the collapse. And like I said, most people are going to lose everything. And only about 5% of the people are going to be able to sort of survive and prosper during the situation. They'll be the remnant that survives. And then you enter a total chaos. And that's the process, usually, that you wind up with some type of dictator. And usually people forget that Hitler was didn't take power. He was elected during the power when the German mark was debased. And after World War II, they had this great debt, and they had to pay it off. What did they do to pay it off? They printed up marks. And the marks became almost worthless. They had to have a wheelbarrow of money to pay off the debt. So what happened was that Hitler came in and during that collapse. And usually in any economic collapse in China, when Genghis Khan came to power, using Napoleon came to power again. These are rulers, or tyrants, or whatever you want to call. They always come to power when you have an economic dislocation, or what we call a depression. So these are the things that you're going to be facing, and there is no hope of the thing ever turning around. This here is over with. See, and you make it a blue one tomorrow, or next 2 or 3 years. So your hope now, what you must do is get as much silver as you can get your hands on to preserve your wealth and be able to at least halfway survive. And most of all, you're going to have to pray, because you're looking at a government that has become insolvent. The only way they can keep itself afloat is borrowing money from foreigners and also print. And you see that the whether you want to talk about the auto industry, whether you want to talk about the housing is in a depression. The first time this past year, I think it was, housing lost 10% of its average home price. 10% of its value was lost. The prices declined nationwide. That was the first time in 75 years. Prices declined all through major markets. Can you imagine? And most people's wealth are tied to their houses, folks. That is your so-called nest egg. But listen, did you know that 8 or 10 million houses are already upside down? What do you mean upside down? The mortgage is worth more than the house. And as the houses continue to drop, it's going to go to 35 or 40 million. So what little nesting egg that you have in your house, it'll be wiped out. So unless you bought your house back in the 60s, other than that, most people are going to lose a great deal of wealth. And unless they have this silver, a gold, something that can maintain its wealth and expand, you're going to be wiped out. And I mean, when I say wiped out, you can read some of the stories about the Depression.
Dr. Warren, do you think that they're going to, at some point, have us turn in our greenbacks for debit cards, like they got rid of the food stamps? We have link cards now here in Chicago. Do you think they're going to tell us to turn in our cash and give us little cards to do all our business?
I wouldn't put that past it, but the problem with that is this. People are not going to tolerate that, because if they do that, just say that we go to a cashless society. This is the problem, folks. This is the problem. You have no more cash.
Yes, sir.
Well, okay, say there's a crisis that they want to devalue the dollar over the weekend. Now all your money is in the bank, am I right? And all of a sudden they said we're going to devalue the dollar 50%. That means what costs $5 now costs $10. So that means your money is lost 50%. And see, if you don't have any silver somewhere as a backup, see what I'm saying, a great deal of your wealth in that, then that means the money in your bank has lost 50% of your value. Your pension that you're going to get, so you get $2,000 a month, well, it's only about $1,000 now, because they had to devalue the currency, they had to debase the currency. So the only way that you can offset this is to get some old silver. These are what you call junk silver, old silver dollars, silver dimes, quarters, and half dollars, and silver dollars. We call bow dollars being here. This is the only thing, or the silver eagles. You need something to preserve your assets. And listen, don't wait around for the last minute. As of now, there's a silver shortage already. People are what they're doing. They're hoarding these things. You know what? The media is not even talking about this. But people as guys, they know that they're trying to provide for their family, at least to be able to eat. Because your house is not going to be worth anything, and you won't be able to sell it. And you got to understand, where were you going to do and what you're going to do. You want to have some options that you have available. So if you have this, you can always barter and move around. Because folks understand that this is always money.
So, Dr. Warren, they always suggest that we have about 6 months to a year of living expenses, which means about $20,000, $50,000 in the bank. Most of us don't have that kind of money, so you're saying most of us are doomed.
Most people, unless they get some hands on some type of silver, they're going to be doomed. Because what's going to happen, if they lock the banks up, just like they said during 9/11, the banks were closed. They can close the banks for 2 weeks. And only allow you to do what? Take so much money out of the bank. It did in South America. It's okay, we're going to allow you $1,000 a month, write check. That's all we're going to do. And your money's in the bank. Remember, it's your money, but the government literally controls it. They can tell you how much you can spend, that they're going to allow out of the banking system this month to pay your bills, and that's it. So, I mean, you don't want to have them options. The same thing with credit cards. A credit card, they can tell you in a moment. They can revoke your credit line. See, and all I know is so in other words, in order for you to be, should I say, somewhat independent, you're going to have to start thinking outside the box and preparing for the worst. Now, if the worst don't come, you can always take the silver back and sell it. But if you don't have it, you're in deep trouble, the silver or gold. And see, this is the problem. People have not been told how bad the economy is. And if you just listen to the news this past week, the jobs report just came out. This past was April 4th, I think this past Friday. They lost another 80,000 jobs. The last 3 months, 300,000 jobs are lost. And the thing is, and then listen, and that's a lie, because it was much worse than that. It's just like they keep telling us food, keep telling us about inflation. inflation is only 4%. Any fool knows that the food is more than 4 or 5%. Because you know why? Because they say core inflation. It doesn't include fuel and food. Now, how can you live in America without food and fuel unless you live in a cave?
This is only going to take a few minutes. You got a few minutes to answer this question. I want to get out of here by 2. I want to hold it to the crowd. But Dr. Warren, why should we believe you versus Barack Obama, John McCain, or Hillary Clinton? Anybody else we see, our preachers, our family, why should we believe Dr. Warren?
Well, listen, all I'm doing is giving you facts. You can all verify this just by going online and going to reliable news sources. You can see, especially overseas, the Telegraph or some of the English papers or European papers, they report a better news than we are. Listen, why should you believe Obama than believing us? Is this, listen, financial interests has always controlled this country. And if you think it doesn't, then you've been badly deceived. Whether you want to call them the Illuminati, skull and bones, it don't make a black nobility, don't make no difference. There's always been power behind the throne. And listen, these people are not going to relinquish this type of power. And like I said, just look at the signs. Just look at the signs that are happening, and you can see the situation is getting worse and worse and worse. Just go to the supermarket and just look and see how food is jumping up. Look at gasoline, how it's jumping up. Listen, those are not the things that I'm saying. I don't have no power with those things. I'm just trying to make you conscious of what you must do in this short time that you have left before these precious metals jump crazy and you won't be able to buy them, period. I mean, silver is $17, gold is $917. Suppose silver jumped to 50 or 100. Well, most people can't afford to buy a whole bunch of it because they missed the opportunity to buy it while it's cheap. That's why I'm saying, as far as Obama, these people are not even addressing the issue. They're talking about sending us $600. They're talking about saving the homeowners. Listen, they're talking about giving a couple of $100 billion. The home quote problem, this foreclosure is almost a $2 or $3 trillion problem. So how can you throw a couple of $100 billion at something? That's like trying to empty Lake Michigan with a cup of water. It is nothing but propaganda, folks. Dog and pony show. The peas, you thinking that they're doing something. They're not doing anything. The only thing they're going to do is save Wall Street. And I don't care whether you're atheist. I don't care whether you're a Muslim. I don't care what religion you are. You need the mean green. It's the economic system that puts this thing together. And the people behind it, they are not none of those religions. So you have to wake up and discern what the truth is and prepare for the worst. And for your family and your self-survival.
Give everyone your information so they can contact you.
Okay, if you want to contact me, we have a website, www.plim.org. My email is plim, P-L-I-M, at plim.org. That's P-L-I-M at plim.org. You can reach me. You got any questions, we'll try to get back to you. Remember, time is short. Things are getting worse. After this election, you won't believe the number of foreclosures that's happening, the number of layoffs that's coming. I don't care whether you're white collar, what kind of degrees you got. They got people coming out of college now, they can't even find jobs because all the jobs are in Asia. They're all in Asia, folks. They're not here. You're going to be walking around in overalls or doing field work or whatever it is, because there will not be any jobs here, period. So that all we can do is hope and pray that you act upon this information while it's timely. Everything is timely. It's like a woman to get pregnant, she has to do it on cycles. Well, this is not going to last all. We're entering a period where this thing is speeding up and they're not telling you. And the next thing you know, these precious metals are going to get so crazy that you won't be able to get them and you won't be able to find it. And how you eat it, you're going to be on a link card with eating molded cheese and molded foods from the government warehouse. And you do not want, one thing we learned from Katrina is that if you're waiting for the government to save you, you're in one hell of a mess.